Hello, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to another video. And without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Cowboys can expose one of the few Eagles' weaknesses on Sunday. It has been a long season since we saw the Dallas Cowboys play the Eagles on that opening night game. One in which those CeeDee Lamb drops still make me wonder how this season would have played out if he caught those balls. Either way, that is done, and that is all I will say about that. This game Sunday will be a lot more interesting than people think. The Dallas Cowboys are coming off a win against the Las Vegas Raiders, but everyone beats up on them, so I expect that. But now we will see which Dallas team shows up this weekend. You may be thinking, what could the Dallas Cowboys possibly do that would expose one of the few weaknesses the Eagles have this season? Well, let me first start by saying that the Eagles' defense is playing on another level right now. The last 2 weeks, they have held the Lions and the Packers in check. The Green Bay offense has looked bad the last month, so that is not surprising. But what they did to the high-powered Lions offense was impressive. I can't deny that. But I really think the Cowboys can take advantage of that Eagles offensive line. It is not as good as it has been, and Lane Johnson is out for at least a month. The Eagles are winning games, but they are not winning because of the offense. The Cowboys at home are averaging over 400 yards a game and 35 points. And that was with the stinker they had against the Arizona Cardinals, a game in which was really odd to watch. If I am the Cowboys, if they get to the 50-yard line, I go for it nearly every single time. I don't even care. You have to make the Eagles' offense beat you and not the defense. Make Jalen Hurts throw the football. Something that clearly he hasn't done this year because at Jay Brown, seems like he hates playing with them because he is not getting the ball enough. I think Barkley will have a good game. He won't be held under 100 yards like he was against them in Week 1. But to me, this is about the Cowboys' offense against the Eagles' defense. The offensive line is going to have to be ready because they made Jared Goff look so bad last week with all the pressure he was under. We hope things will be different this time and that Dak Prescott continues making history in the NFC East. Dak Prescott needs just 160 passing yards to become the Cowboys' all-time leading passer. Currently, Tony Romo holds the record for most career passing yards with 34,183. But Prescott is within a strong outing from exceeding his predecessor with 34,024. Prescott's season low passing yards this year is 188 twice. Once against Philadelphia in Week 1 and again by Week 8 against Denver. May this record be accompanied by a victory so that we can have a chance to reach the playoffs this season. Dallas Cowboys' playoff hopes hinge on crucial 3-game stretch. The Dallas Cowboys are riding high after Monday night's 33-6 win over the Raiders, and rightfully so. Dak Prescott was on fire, as was George Pickens, and Quinnen Williams had a great debut. But the next 2 weeks will ultimately decide the Cowboys' fate. Can they make a storybook run for the playoffs? Or will they start getting ready for the 2026 season a month early? Right now, not only is Philadelphia the NFC East leader, they hold the top seed in the NFC playoff picture at 8-2. The Eagles have survived 2 tough battles with the Packers and the Lions. Both were one-score victories in low-scoring games, but still 2 wins. Philadelphia beat Dallas to open the season despite losing their best defensive lineman before the first snap of the game. Jalen Carter will play on Sunday, but the Eagles will be without their Pro Bowl right tackle Lane Johnson. Dallas will need to exploit that weakness and contain Saquon Barkley to earn a win. For days later, they drew the always dangerous Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs clearly aren't the same team this year that made annual trips to the AFC Championship game in almost certainty. However, they still have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback and Andy Reid as their head coach. But the Cowboys cannot expect to beat them as easily as they did Las Vegas. The gauntlet ends on December 4th in Detroit and a Lions team that crushed Dallas at a TNT Stadium last year. 47-9, they will be a tough out on the road to remain in the playoff hunt. Dallas almost has to win 2 of these 3 games to get to 661. They should be able to go 3-1 down the stretch against the Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, and Giants. Even at 971, the Cowboys would probably still need help to get into the playoffs, but they'd have a shot. But a 1-2 run or 0-3 over the next 2 calendar weeks and the Cowboys' playoff hopes are likely. Doe at either 571 or 481. Dallas looked good in every aspect of the game on Monday night. The offense put up 33 points and probably could have made it 40 if needed. The defense held the Raiders in check. Las Vegas scored 9 points when the game was still in question and never generated a rushing attack. But there are reasons not to overstate the victory. Starting with who Dallas beat, the Raiders appear to be tanking, falling to 2-8 with the loss. Texans cut former fourth-round bust. Cowboys could be a potential destination. Ahead of their matchup against the Denver Broncos, the Houston Texans have caught running back Dameon Pierce, who spent all of his career with the team. According to several reports, the Texans are moving on in the wake of the Joe Mixon injury news. The team is not waiting, and it came at the expense of Pierce. Originally selected in the 2022 NFL Draft, the former Florida product had one of the most promising rookie seasons. Despite recording 939 rushing yards for touchdowns along 30 catches for 165 receiving yards through 13 games and starts, Pierce has been falling on the depth chart. The running back lost his backup duties due to the emergence of veteran Nick Chubb, since the Texans were in dire need of help in the backfield unit when the Mixon injury occurred. Even though it looks like he might have to wait around for an opportunity, he could be claimed as soon as tomorrow. Pierce was a part of several trade conversations, but no one saw his value since it had diminished over the past few seasons. This doesn't mean that Pierce isn't good. A fresh start could do well for the running back, and the Dallas Cowboys might be open to getting him before the start of their postseason aspirations. After picking up a win over the Raiders on Monday night, the Cowboys aren't necessarily out of the wildcard race. It's still a long shot, but Dallas could sneak their way in. The team once had a promising backfield years ago with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard a part of one unit, but that went out the window since now they have one of the worst. Dallas never made a true investment in their running back room. And even though Pierce won't dramatically change much, he's better than what they have as far as backups.